Hey, thanks for checking in. Today we're going to talk about affidavits of support, and that could be an 864 or a 134. These things can be quite a headache, particularly when you're filing through consular processing. So every family-based immigrant or everyone that is employment-based when they have more than 5% interest in the sponsoring firm have to file what's called an affidavit of support. In essence, it's someone that can vouch for the applicant and also prove that they earn 125% of the poverty level for their family size. So it's a family of 3, it's a certain level. If it's a family of 5, it's a certain level above that. The way we prove that is by the last 3 years' tax returns. So let's just say right now in 2016, they would need to submit 2015, 2014, and 2013 tax numbers. You don't have to supply the full last 3 years' tax returns, just the most recent tax return and the income from the 3 years prior. Now occasionally someone won't earn enough money. So let's just say 125% of the poverty level for just general sake is say $22,000 a year. And let's just say this person only earns $19,000 a year. Well, that means they're $3,000 short. So there's a couple of different routes you can go. You can either have a co-sponsor or a household member come in. Now if this person happens to be the immigrant themselves, they have to be work authorized. So, just a little side note, if they're not authorized, we can't use their income at all. But if they're here in valid non-immigrant status, so let's just say they're on an O1 or an H1B or a year of OPT, yeah, we can use their qualifying income. We would just need to include proof of their valid non-immigrant status. So let's wind back. So let's just say we don't earn enough money. The primary sponsor doesn't have enough. What we would do is either bring in one of these co-sponsors, or we can actually prove it via assets. So if it's for a spouse or direct family member, we combine the total amount of assets. So let's say they own a house, or at least have equity in a house, a car, cash, or jewelry or something like that. We need to show title, so proof of ownership of those assets, and then if there's any liens on them, so that would be for a house, for example, how much the house is worth, and then how much is on the mortgage. That different amount is the amount we can use. However, it's not dollar for dollar. So for immediate relatives, so for spouses, you divide it by 3. So let's just say the equity in the house was $12,000. The total that we could add to that income would be $4,000. So in the example I used prior, where the 125% of the poverty level is $22,000, they earn $19,000. In order to get that additional $3,000 for an immigrant, for a direct family member, we'd have to prove an additional $9,000 in assets to raise it that $3,000. Can get quite complicated, and it can get very difficult, particularly when you're dealing with the State Department for consular processing. Because as you may know, or if you're looking at this, you may be dealing with it at the moment, it takes them about a month and a half to just check their mail. So if there's any mistakes on that affidavit of support, they're going to send it back, which will start you at the back at the beginning of the queue. So a process that normally takes 4 or 5 months can take 10 to 12 months. So it's something you've really got to pay close attention to, read the form very carefully, and when you're providing proof of assets, you've really got to be very thorough. So be sure to include, tax returns, proof of income, bank statements, everything to make it look more official. The affidavit of support is going to be a bit of a headache unless you earn, above that number. So I definitely recommend for some of these to hire an attorney to handle the case for you, but if you're not in a position to do that, really read the instructions very thoroughly, fill it out, and be sure to add all the information you need. And just by the way, the affidavit of support has to be filed with the adjustment of status, or else they will not issue any of the other items. So that's just something to keep in mind. Good luck, and if you need help with this, or if you're banging your head against the wall, feel free to call the office and we're here to help. Thanks.